Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghair maghdubi alayhim. Wala dwalin. Alhamdulillah. Dr. Sanada Kamara, co-founder of Temple Mother Earth, sending love, peace, and abundance prayer to everyone around the world.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Moorish Monday with Abdullah Il Today Mostly Bay on Magnets, Crystals, Pyramid, YouTube, and Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining the broadcast. You'll see across the screen my website, moorsandmasonry.org. moorsandmasonry.org. Anyone's interested in getting any of my books, go to moorsandmasonry.org. I'm waiting for Brother Israel. Is Brother Israel backstage, Hank? Supposed to have to put the flyer up for me. So while we're waiting, he's not. Maybe he's forgot. Jeez. All right. I asked wanted Israel to have the flyer up for me of the upcoming lecture on August 16th. Who can have Israel's number? Who's on? If King, if you on, give Israel a call. Those who are hit that like button if you like the broadcast, that notification button, a bell, ding ding ding. Let people know that we're on live and direct. Santin Il, can you give Israel a call? All right. Who else is? Brother Obadiah, call Israel, please. Obadiah, call Israel. Tell him I'm waiting for him. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the live broadcast. We have small drum. We have Lamar Montez. And once again, Brother Obadiah, give Israel a call. All right, here he is, live and direct, in full effect. Here we go. Ready to rock and roll. Thank you, brother.
Peace, bro. Peace.
Yes, I had Israel. I was telling out Obadiah to call you.
Oh, yeah, he's calling me now, yo.
Yeah, all right, good. All right, here we go. So this is welcome, everyone. Today's Israel, he will only be with us for 15 minutes. That's wanting him to display the flyer. This is the upcoming lecture. Today's presentation title is Moors, European Masons, and the Stolen Legacy of the Moors Estate. I wanted to take the opportunity to displaying the flyer of the upcoming lecture scheduled for August 16th in Hardyville, South Carolina. Moors Uplifting Humanity to sponsor. It's Moors Uplifting Humanity to sponsor of the of the lecture in Hardyville, South Carolina. Subjugation to restoration, the political power of the buried identity of the so-called Black people. And you see Brother King Albay, and I, Abdullah Il Talib Mosi Bey, are the speakers. Now the question is, why do I have Dr. King's picture on the flyer with us? Now we look at from subjugation to restoration, the political power of the buried identity of the so-called Black people. Now, below the pictures are photos. You see the statement judged by skin color, or is it a cover-up of our nationality and cultural identity? And below that is, you'll see a flow chart. Now I'm going to explain that the judge by skin color, that is a statement, that's in Dr. King's statement, speech, I have a dream, that one day that I have a dream that one day that my 4 little children will live in a nation where they not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So that's a recognizable. Judged by skin color is recognizable, along with Dr. King's picture. So we wanted to connect to those who are not aware of the Moorish history, Moorish nationality. Now, the political power of the buried identity. Now, we're going to, as we go through the broadcast, you'll see that our Moorish nationality indeed has political power, and that knowledge of the political power of our Moorish nationality has been suppressed. And you'll see the political power of our Moorish nationality in studying of our Moorish history. And we get in the question, well, why did they bury this Moorish history? What is it about this Moorish history? What is about the Moorish history? Who are the Moors? Then we have so judged by skin color. So we've been conditioned that our treatment, discrimination, prejudice, hatred, unfair treatment, injustice towards us over the past 200 years is a result of the complexion of our skin. And I can see our people thinking that if you don't know the history, you don't know the subjugation, the motives of the international act of subjugation and our history of the Moorish history, you would think, as I did, that why the police beat down, the abuse, the lynching, and unfair practices towards us. You see all these people that look like Donald Trump getting preferential treatment, getting the jobs, and you would think that it's because of our complexion. I mean, without that would be logical. It's logical based on, it's illogical because drawing conclusions based on information that's before you. That's before you. I mean, logic means order. The etymology of logic means order. So you're drawing conclusions based on, observation. You don't have the knowledge of people don't have the knowledge of the true history. We don't know that it's subjugation. We don't know that. People don't know that. So why wouldn't they think it's because of our complexion? Right? Why not? I mean, people that look like Donald Trump ain't getting treated like this. So of course, Abdullah, it's because of our complexion. I mean, see, that's the trick. That's the trick. That is the diversion to keep us down that rabbit hole of judged by our complexion, judged by our skin color, our skin tone, and judged by our mistreated and abused and discriminated against. And that's a construct. That's a constructive false paradigm to suppress the fact that we've been stripped of our cultural identity, nationality. We've been reduced from nation to a people to that of a fictional racial category. We've been placed in a fictional racial category that has no character of nationality or no character of civil polity and no character of political polity, that have never been known, acknowledged, and recognized as belonging to the family of nations, has never been acknowledged and recognized by the inhabitants of countries of having character of nationality, civil, and political polity. So these legalist these fictions, black and Negro and colored and people of color and colored people and African American having no character of nationality, dehumanizing. So these fictions have appeared to be real. So you see here in this Linnaeus, so this racial, the flow chart, and by the way, Israel did this flow chart, the graphic. Now the flyer was done by Sentinel. Sentinel Bay did the flyer, and I guided him on the design of the flyer. But the flow chart, the graphics for this flow chart was done by Brother Israel. Yours truly, Brother Israel. So I wanted to have a lesson on the flow on this flyer. You also see on the upper left what they call the star that's used by the 5-pointed star used by the Order of the Eastern Star, and on the right the compass and square with the G in the center. The G stands for geometry. You have the bow compass and plummet square, and you have and of course there are those who think this is a Masonic lecture. There are those who would think that King and I belong to Masonic orders. And so I remember Nicholas asked me. Nicholas is he's the president and founder of Moors Uplifting Humanity. what would we tell people why the 5-pointed star is used by the Order of the Eastern Star, and the compass and square and the G in the center are on the flyer. And I said to Nicholas, we're reclaiming our culture. We're reclaiming our culture. Now you'll see here this is the Oasis Temple. The Oasis ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the Mystic Shrine, now known as Shriners International. This is the Oasis Temple, Shrine Temple, stolen legacy of the Moorish estate. This is during a Shriners parade, I believe in in the 1960s, 1962, I believe, on the Shriners parade. You see where they are wearing our Moorish regalia, Moorish garb, the cummerbund, the pantaloons. They also have Moorish shoes. So, again, the event is $30. Contact Nicholas Bay at 912-322-6731 for vending. So we have vending available. This is at the Guape Family Life Center, 5855 South OKT Ohio Highway, Hardyville, South Carolina, 22927, Sunday, August 16 at 2:30 p.m. We're working on setting up the live broadcast, and so we trying to be working on getting that, making that connection, so that and we'll put out another flyer whereby we'll be marketing the live broadcast next month. So in about a month from now, we'll have another flyer marketing the live broadcast availability, and that'll be $20 for the live broadcast. So we'll have people will be able to watch it where they are in the world. So that is still in negotiating in the works. All right, Brother Israel, I want to thank you, brother. I want to thank you, man, for just wanted to have Israel. I just had this flyer on just for a few minutes. All right.
All right.
All right. So I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, bro.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right. So the European Masons and the stolen legacy of the Moorish estate. European Masons and the stolen legacy of the Moorish estate. Now, a lot of our brothers and sisters, those who are use the fictional category of Negro, Black, colored people of color, African American, who are Masons and Eastern Stars and Daughters of Isis, their view of the 5-pointed star, the compass and square, the apron, those who are Shriners, the names, the Moorish fez, the crescent moon, 5-pointed star, that is just mere symbols that belong to the order, that there's no national consciousness. There's no national consciousness. So they're conscious Moors. They're conscious Moors who think that our brothers and sisters are sellouts. They're those conscious Moors who have attacked our brothers and sisters who are Masons and the Stars and think that they are sellouts, that they do know, that they know what I know. That the Masons and Eastern Stars, our brothers and sisters, know what I know. They know that they know the history. They know that this is our land. They know that we're Moors and not black, nigger colored, that they have this knowledge. I have met quite a few Masons and Eastern Stars over the years. I've spoken at a couple Masonic conferences as a guest speaker. And my brothers, sisters, conscious Moors, they don't know. They don't know. Brother Emir, he is the author of Moors and Masons. Nicholas and I had a pleasure of speaking to him yesterday. Yeah, we spoke with him yesterday. Brother Emir, that was the first time that I actually spoke to him. He put out, I remember his putting out his book, Of Moors and Masons. He's of moorsandmasons.com. That's Brother Emir. And he and I will be collaborating. He's out in Cleveland. And he's been part of the order for 17 years, and he's been Moorish conscious for 16. And I'll bring him on, set up to bring him on, and I'll see if he's available for next week. And I'll set up to bring him on. If not next week, it'll be in April. Do a presentation, and he'll make it clear that he's actually done lessons in his lodge and other lodges that our brothers and sisters do not know. So now, what you also see you saw on the flyer, and I didn't point out when I was up, but I'll point out now, is the Moorish regalia that I'm wearing, that I have on. I have a 8-pointed star. There's an 8-pointed star on the regalia. Now, the 8-pointed, all night orders use the 8-pointed star. And once again, it's just a symbol to them, to our brothers and sisters. Just a symbol. Like, there's no astronomical, mathematical knowledge of it. It's just an 8-pointed star. I mean, it's just, what do you, like, now, the 8-pointed star is the intersection. You have it represents the Earth cross, or known as the tropical cross, representing the 4 seasons. And then you have the galactic cross. So you have the intersection of the galactic equator and celestial equator, which occurs every 6,000 plus years. So it represents a cosmological cycle. The British flag has two crosses: the tropical cross and the galactic cross. The Black Panther, orange cross. the Egyptian statues with the armed cross and then holding up the Ankh. So they have Egyptian statues, armed cross, represents the galactic cross, and the Ankh in both hands representing the tropical cross. The Confederate flag, that's the galactic cross. So all night orders. So you see this more European Masons and the stolen legacy of the Moorish estate. And so why associate the stolen legacy of the Moorish estate with European Masons? Because it's the European night orders, in particular, where you see the 8-pointed star. And a lot of the Europeans are introduced into Moorish culture, Egyptian culture through Masonic orders, night orders. So there's a preservation of the knowledge, the preservation of the knowledge through what they call symbols, but they're not symbols, mere symbols but that doesn't have any meaning though. Like they'll just say 8-pointed star. All right. You said 8-pointed star. You said compass and square. All right. What does it mean? A beautiful system. A beautiful system veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols, a beautiful system of morality veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols, and that's parroted. They don't know what, it's just parroted though. It's no knowledge of what they're calling symbols. There's no astronomical, mathematical, timekeeping, measurement, knowledge. There's no knowledge of the history of the night orders. They're just night orders. I mean, they're charity orders. You know what I mean? They raise funds. You know what I mean? They're charity orders. So they'll say Knights Templar, Knights of St. Stephen's, Knights of Malta. And there's no historical context, no knowledge of the historical context of the night orders. And the night orders and their connection to the Crusades against the Moors. There's no connection. The night orders are connected to the Crusades against the Moors. The night orders were established for the sole purpose to fight against the Moors. That's why they were established. The Crusades against the Moors. So that's not just say Crusades. Crusades against, just complete it. Crusades against the Moors. launched in 1095. This is major. So someone says, well, if they don't know about the Moors, then they don't know European history. You can't tell me that you know European history when you don't know anything about the Moors. You just admitted to me that you don't know European history. See what I'm doing? You can't know European history. How are you going to tell me you know European history when you don't know anything about the Moors? It doesn't make... Based on the Renaissance, Moorish Renaissance. It's not the Renaissance. It's the Moorish Renaissance. Why it's the Moorish Renaissance and not Renaissance? In the S.P. Scott's 3-volume book, The Moorish Empire in Europe, The History of the Moorish Empire in Europe, volumes 1, 2, and 3 by S.P. Scott. Moors in Spain, volumes 1 and 2, Moors in Spain. Those who have Moors after Spain, Stanley Poole. And a host of other books. The Golden Age of the Moors, edited by Ivan van Sertima. And the Golden Age of the Moors, I recommend you get the Golden Age of the Moors, edited by Ivan van Sertima, because it's a compilation of articles. And the bibliography section, it's extensive bibliography. About 25 pages of bibliography. I want y'all to, if you look up the book, Google the Golden Age of the Moors, and you get a PDF version, go to the bibliography first. Go to the back. Start with the bibliography. Say, damn, Abdullah, why would you start? Start with the bibliography. I'm trying to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why to start with the bibliography, so that you can see the list of books, see the extensive research, surgery to thesis, botany, zoology, see the knowledge, the medical science, the level of knowledge of medical science, horticulture, botany, astronomy, mathematics. Study, read the bibliography. This is those who are just joining, welcome. Let people know that we're on. Hit that notification button, that bell, ding, ding, ding. Hit that like button. You'll see my website, moorsandmasonry.org, when anyone get interested in getting in my books. So this is the day's title is The European Masons and the Stolen Legacy of the Moorish Estate. So the night orders are just viewed as charity orders. But what is the history of the name that particular, those night orders function as charity orders today? Yes, they do. The Knights Templar, the Sovereign Order of St. John Hospitalier, Knights of St. Stephen, Knights of Calatrava. Those orders are function today as merely charity orders. But research the names of those orders. Research those orders and when they were established, not as charity orders, when they were established as military orders, and why they were established. When they were established, why they were established, what were their activity, who were they fighting? The Moors. Like, how do you not know European history? I mean, how do you know about the Moors that you don't know European history? This, and Moors and Masonry Moors and Masonry Part 1, as well as in Chapter 1 of my Masonic Compass and Square and Connection to Measurement and Timekeeping book, I chronicle what I'm talking about now about the night orders. You know, listing the night orders, also the connecting that with the two major captivity orders, the Trinitarian, because they're connected now. You want to connect. The night orders, the Crusades against the Moors, the military night orders, and the two major captivity orders or ransoming orders. One is known as the Trinitarian, and that was established in the Trinitarian and established in 11 Trinitarian is established in, I believe, 1115, Mercitarian 1038. And they were those are captivity ransoming orders established by priests to raise money to get Europeans out of Moorish captivity, and also went on redemption missions. Countless, hundreds of redemption missions, raising millions of dollars. There's a 600 years of captivity records. I guess this Moorish history is so vast. It plays a huge role in European history. There is a major connection here. The six with Portugal, England / Great Britain, France, the Dutch Republic, the Netherlands, Spain, and those kingdoms, and then later the United States. What they all have in common, as I've said last week, they have purported to have been involved in the transatlantic slave trade, transporting over 12 million. That's the story, from the continent of Africa to North Central South America. But what do they all have in common? They all were in war with the Moors. They were all paying tribute to the Moors. They all had treaties with the Moors. The treaties were protected their trade and commerce. Israel, we're going to do a flow chart. Spain. All right, let's right now take out a sheet of paper, my brothers and sisters. Oh, and or actually, no, not take out a sheet of paper. I should never say that. I'm going to assume, rightfully so, that y'all have notebooks. So open your notebooks. Let's do a flow chart. We're going to do a flow chart now. Let's draw a flow chart. At the top, re-examining the transatlantic slave trade. Re-examining the transatlantic slave trade in the context of Moorish history and Moorish power. Re-examining the transatlantic slave trade in the context of Moorish history and Moorish power during the 15, 16, and 1700s. Re-examining the slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, in the context of Moorish history and Moorish power during the 15, 16, and 1700s. That'll be at the top. So you can have the proper framework. Let's get the proper framework here. So you want to have, so we do a flow chart or maybe a web. Well, we can, yes, so a flow chart. All right, so we can, all right, so with the flow chart, I want to have, how we do this? Maybe a chart. Moorish treaties. All right, so I want to have the categories though. I want to have, let me, Moorish treaties, Moorish wars, seizing of ships. So let's put the categories though. All right, so we have treaties with the Moors, captivity, ransom, ship seizures, tribute payments for safe passage, war. Like, these are the categories that they all have in common. That Portugal, Spain, France, England / Great Britain, the Netherlands and the Dutch Republic, and also the United States. This is what they all have in common. With the Moors. This is all they have in common with the Moors. During the 15, 16, 1700s, but not United States during it. And then Great Britain was also, England was 1600s, late 1500s with England. United States is 1700s, 1770s, 1780s, 90s, 1800. The year 1800. So, all right. So now, but we look, they all have in common. So I'm gonna, Israel, I'm gonna write out this flow chart because I got it now. I got to just put it on paper and see how we're gonna, so we can even right now do a web. So we just trying to get this flow chart down. So I'm trying to consolidate so they can give a visual. Because you have they're unconscious Moors who claiming to be Indians, who are minimizing or acting as if Moors did not exist. Like this name Moor is that there's no such thing. There's no who the Moors, like these, and they're claiming this Indian thing because they think they see some money coming down the pike. They're jumping on the Indian bandwagon thing because they money's coming down the pike. But who's still going to be in control though? But they don't care about that. So they don't care about that. They don't care about that. They don't care about it's because it's individual. It's individual. It's individual. It's on, all for yourself. It's individual. There's no collective there. There's no collective nothing. There's no collective thinking nothing. It's just, they're Indians because they see money come down the pike. There's no collective nothing. So the fact that our history is still suppressed means what? So then we got to show Moorish power. That's why I type the transatlantic slave trade. Re-examine the transatlantic slave trade in the context of Moorish history, Moorish power during the 15, 16, and 1700s. Why the focus 15, 16, 1700? Re-examine the transatlantic slave trade because that's the time period. That's the time period, 15, 16, and 1700s. So what was going on during that time period regarding Moorish power, Moorish history? With Portugal, Spain, France, the Netherlands, the Dutch Republic, and later United States. Moors seizing the ships. They're enter into treaties with Morocco, Algiers, Tripoli, and Tunis to pay for the release of captives, exchange of captives and prisoners, the payment of tributes for safe passage. There were wars, ransoming. Let's look at that. This is huge. That clearly shows. I read this. I'm going to read this here. In 16, this is you have 1662 treaty. You also have 1662 treaty with Algiers and Great Britain. You have that dealt with navigational passes. 1682 treaty. The navigational passes, major, because the navigational passes was the pass for England and Spain and France to, like they had their pass, So your pass, your navigational pass, so that your ship won't be seized. we have to present our Moorish power, because the way they present this transatlantic slave story, that we as if we were not in position of power. And then the way they're even when they mention the Moors as this, they were like some loose people. No, we were in government structure. I continue to say that conscious Moors don't know enough. Jeffrey L. Thompson, and this is in my book, Moors and Masonry, Part 1 and 2. This is actually, this book, what I'm reading here is a reference from Jeffrey L. Thompson, which I actually referenced in Moors and Masonry Part 1 and 2. And Scapegoating Islam, Intolerance, Security, and the American Muslim states, in 1662, Great Britain began negotiating a series of treaties with the Moroccan Empire to mitigate the threat of Moorish captivity of British merchants and subjects and the seizing of their ships. Now, there were treaties before 1660. 1662 was not the first treaty that England made with Morocco. But this was negotiating a series of treaties to mitigate the threat of Moorish captivity of British merchants and subjects and the seizing of their ships. The Moroccan treaties with Great Britain required the British government to pay Morocco ransom for the release of captives and to provide annual tribute to ensure continued safe passage of British merchant ships through the Mediterranean and the North Atlantic. Through the Mediterranean and North Atlantic. So this is 1660s. So we're looking at the transatlantic slave trade. Let's picture this on how this transatlantic slave trade story is taught and how you envision Spain and Portugal in the 1500s, back and forth, countless voyages, just bringing in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, countless voyages. France, England, countless voyages, millions, back and forth. Let's put a monkey in a wrench. Moorish history and Moorish power. Now let's place Moorish history and Moorish power in that timeline. Let's place it in that timeline. Let's place it in that story. That's the story. So let's re-examine the story with Moorish history, Moorish power. Let's re-examine the story, this transatlantic slave trade story, with Moorish treaties and tribute payments to the Moors that England and Spain and Portugal, Moorish, they removed us from the story. They removed us. This is we play a major in European relations, and European diplomatic relations, and treaty relations, and wars, and ransom payments, and seats. We play a Morocco, Tripoli, Tunis, Algiers play a major role. I had the statue of the four. We talked about the statue of the four Moors. Carsimio the first. During the 1500s, 10,000 Moors held in captivity in Livorno, Italy. You don't say blacks, Nigerians, they said Moors. Like nobody knows about the Moors. Like the Moors, like who's the Moors? The Moors? Huh, the Moors? Like this is bad word. As Moors is a bad word. Moors, stop cussing, Abdullah. Moors, stop cussing. What's the subtitle of the lecture? What's the subtitle of the upcoming lecture? King and I will be speaking in Hardyville, South Carolina. What's the subtitle? The political power of the buried identity of the so-called black people. The political power of the buried identity. What's the buried identity? Moors. Why is it buried, Abdullah? So that, why is it buried? Would it matter that this history is known to us in an organized, not just known in an organized political body, not just known, not loose known, not the way that these conscious Moors are doing today, not what we're doing today, not the different fighting each other, not that way, not where conscious Moors fighting each other, not conscious Moors separated. No, there's no power in that. There's no power in what we're doing now. There's no power in what we've been doing. No, separated, not working together, separate groups. There's no power in that. I'm not talking that. I'm talking about organizing. I'm talking about uniting. There's no power in what we're doing. There's no effect. We're not going to affect nothing. We're not going to effectuate change in what we're doing now, how we're doing now, fighting each other, trying to outdo each other, not working together, like separate agendas. We have separate agendas. We don't work together. We're not going to effectuate change that way. It's not going to happen. I said this 2 weeks ago. This Moorish movement is the weakest movement on the planet. The Moorish movement is the weakest movement on the planet. I gave you, look at the findings. We're fighting each other, trying to outdo each other. We don't work together. Like all these different groups. Another one pops up. Different agendas. Like, where we going, y'all? What's the end game? What are we trying to do? What is the end game? To continue fighting each other? Trying to outdo each other? Who's smarter than who's the smartest? Who knows more? It's more of that. Selling packages, and it's like we're like this we're in survival though. We're not in, it's like a survival thing. It's like the crabs in the barrel. I remember this European, and he was right too. Now I blocked him because he started calling me names. That's the reason I blocked him. And he started calling me names, when he would put in the comments of my posts. Now before he started calling me names, he or put in the chat, name calling. He stated that what I've been saying all along about conscious Moors, unorganized. You mentioned that. I applaud him because he was right on the money, and only because he's European, and he's right. Unorganized, self-appointed, seen with self-appointment, unorganized, fighting. I applaud him. Where is he wrong? Where was he wrong? This was back in late May of last year. Because I say that all the time about us. Like we have to address this. We have to address this. We have to address these dynamics. And a lot of it that I see as a result of lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. A lack of knowledge of international law, a lack of knowledge of civil polity, political polity, a lack of knowledge of jurisprudence, a lack of knowledge of Moorish history. I mean, I see more survival mode. I don't see a game plan. I don't see an end game plan. I don't see a course, strategic planning. I see fighting each other. I see just short term. Why would anyone want to be involved? Let's be honest, though. Why? Why would they want to be involved with this Moorish movement? Being real, like we really need to be taking an honest look at this. Like we in survival though. We're not. We're not in strategic planning mode. Survival. We have to change that. You know what? Maybe it's me. You know what I mean? You know what? Tell you what. It's me. I'm too serious. That's what it is. Me. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. I'm too serious. That's all. That's what it is. I need to be less serious. I need to be less. I need to be like Boo Boo the Clown. I mean, I need to be less serious. I mean that Man, I'm just too serious. It's me. I'm gonna fill some questions right now. I mean, knowledge. All right. Joel Master, Islam. Four corners. Everything's real. 3194. Peace Brothers. Santi Il Bay. Many lessons in that flyer alone. Yeah, absolutely. Brother Kurt Thomas, Islam, they knew it would engender semiotic polemics, propaganda tactics. Rahim Bey, about 400. Santi Il Bay. Abdullah is teaching research methodology and researching the bibliographies of scholarly work. Right on, brother. Listen, these are keys and jewels. Rahim Bey, 2707, about 400 sources in that bibliography. That's the golden age of the Moors. 400 sources, about 400 sources. Thank you for that. Stephen Bay, peace. This is Brother Love Bay. All right. It's a delusion. Boom. 4929. Y'all, how y'all feeling? Yo, how y'all feeling? Great. Right. F and Bay. This is Brother Love. Decolonize is the order of the day. I was just about to type that. This is Brother Rahim Bay. Now, Love, I feel you with decolonize is the order of the day, but before we can address decolonize as the order of the day, we must address unity. But I would say unity is the order of the day. But we can't even address decolonize if we're not united. So unity is the order of the day. Conscious Moors don't know enough. Okay. All Indians are subjects of the Moor here in Moroccan Empire, answering to new misnomers, abandoning their Moorish lineage. Kenneth the Il Bay, an Indian in the United States jurisdiction, is a minor. Shemot Islam Moors. Rahim Bay, all these groups but one nationality. Kenneth Bay, the infighting amongst the Moors is a condition of subjugation. Yes, because that's the result of our lack of knowledge and culture, identity and culture. Not being raised in the knowledge of our culture, not being raised in the culture, the philosophy, the history, not having control of our natural resources and economics. Moors uplifting humanity, subjugation to restoration, the political power, the buried identity of the so-called Black people. This is the lecture, August 16th, Supreme 1555. Greetings, great teacher. Apologies for being late to class. Had to cook for the children. Islam. Love Bay once again. We are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. This is where the conscious Moors' duty to our people and bring to what they know, then bring them to what they don't know, what is truth. Supreme 1555. Nah, you on point more. HKW, everything coaching. Curious if conscious Moors with well settled principles and proper concepts in law, history, documentary evidence, elements of law, etymology, linguistics, resolution is the recovery of loss. Yeah, unfortunately, there are not a whole lot of Moors on that level. We got to be working to change that. HWK, everything is coaching. More sovereignty with proper civics. What is the mission? Remedy of other conscious melanated individuals who don't proclaim to know to be Moors. At Ghost 23, truth. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? This whole system being controlled by the pedophiles. I'm surprised we are still paying bills when we know that technology could be very advanced by now. Joel Master 7135. I own land that we can have community and a place to rejuvenate. Supreme 1555. We have to have a united front, move as a unit. We need our own lands. Now, let me address that, Joel. I mean, that's where you are. I've heard that. I don't agree with that, brother. Brother Joel. I mean, you said Joel Master. You and I we just don't see eye to eye on that, and I'm going to explain why I don't see eye to eye on that. I don't see eye to eye with you, Joel Master 7135, about some Moorish community. I don't see eye to eye that, a group of conscious Moors, 10, 20, 30, or 50, 70, 100 conscious Moors in our own community. I don't see eye to eye on that. That we need to be among unconscious Moors, like this, separating, with conscious Moors separating themselves from unconscious Moors. That's our brothers and sisters. So I've never thought that way. I don't know to think that way. I've heard that over for 33 years. But why don't conscious Moors have a connection in the community? Like, why don't we connect it with the community, whatever? I am connected with a body of Moors, conscious and unconscious, who are doing just that, having connections in the community. Lecture series in Brooklyn. We're gonna do lecture series in the Queens. Lecture series in the Bronx. Nicholas, founder and president of Moors Uplifting Humanity. Southeast Regional Educational Network. Nicholas reached out to me in August and in November and said, Abdullah, I want to have a conference. And he sent me the agenda, text me the agenda of what the agenda should be. And I looked at us and I responded, called them and said, let's start with a lecture. And Nicholas has got on it. And I showed you the flyer. I connected Nicholas with other contacts that I have. We have Altuza. and Asifa in Jacksonville, Florida. And that was Brother Altun connected me with Altuza and Nicholas. But Altun connected me with Asifa, and Asifa in turn connected me with Altuza. And I in turn connected them with Nicholas. And I in turn connected Douglas with Asifa and Nicholas. And Brother Michael and Tapper. So with Nicholas establishing the Moors Uplifting of Humanity Southeast Regional Network, which comprised 12 states. And so Nicholas is building this connections and outreach without this more separate Moorish community. We are, so they look at the flyer, it was also to draw on, to market to unconscious Moors. My dear brother, Mikhail Youssef Bey in Charleston, South Carolina. I connected Mikhail Youssef Bey in Charleston, South Carolina with Nicholas today. We were on the phone for about a good 20 minutes this morning. And he's been helping us, and he's going to continue to help us market the lecture. He has connections in Columbia, and he's in Columbia and Beaufort and Florence, and he vends. He had the shop. So this is the huge connection. So I'm connecting. I reached out to Dr. Eileen Bay, and Nicholas will be marketing a flyer. I also reached out to King Simon, who's in Atlanta, Red Pill in Atlanta. Sister Shantae Horford in Atlanta. King Nicholas and I will be at the Juneteenth event in Atlanta. It's from November, June 19th to 21st. We'll spend one day. We'll go with flyers. We'll get numbers of all the vendors. So this is the outreach. Nicholas is following guiding Nicholas. And as he structuring the Moors Uplifting Humanity Southeast Regional Network. My man, Rahim Allah Bey. I started one-on-one lessons with Rahim Allah Bey in September of 2024, 15 months ago, 16 months ago. He's established the Moors. A year ago, he established the Moors, a meeting in the mind study group. And then 2 months ago, he established Meeting of the Minds, or a year ago, established the Meeting of the Minds Civic Association. We work with Luisa Flores, and she's well connected, and she's connected up with different connections that she's had. So we're building connections with unconscious Moors too. So what we're doing in North Jersey and New York with Rahim Allah Bey, Love Bey, working with Rahim. They're listening to us now. They're listening to me now. They're watching me. With Luisa Flores and other connects. So we're bringing together conscious Moors and unconscious Moors. So Brother King and I connected with Brother King Al Bay 3.5 years ago, and we've been rocking ever since. And this is our first lecture together, which will be in South Carolina, Hardyville, South Carolina. I'm very excited about that, and it's turning. We're turning up the heat with it. It's getting attention, and what that now gave me an opportunity. Now is what? To work with Nicholas, founder and president of More Uplifting Humanity, and assisting him in establishing the Moors Uplifting Humanity Southeast Regional Educational Network. So I just wanted, we are doing things. We're reaching out. I reached out to Brother Alim. Dr. Alim, I've known for years. And Sister Khadija. Red Pill, I've known for years. King Simon, who I've known for years. Asifa, that I recently met. Altuza. Douglas, who reached out to me in December of 2024. Michael. So we come connecting my contacts. Louisa's connecting her contacts, her outreach with ours. So we're merging my contacts. Love Bay, Rahim Allah Bay, others, Luisa Flores. We're connecting. We're breaking the bridge. Ron of New York Perspective Talk Show. Israel and I have been on this since April of last year. He reached out to me in March of last year. I've known Ron for about 12 years. I've had several Luis Flores' contacts on my Moorish Monday. She's connected us with Scientology, Church of Scientology, of which I've been to a few events with Luisa Flores. So this Moorish community, La Bay, who has connections in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, where he's from. We're going to set up lecture series there. Lecture series in Jamaica, Queens. We're going to the community. We're not going to have some separate conscious Moorish community. They're Moors. Bronx. Brooklyn. Hardyville. Florence. Beaufort. Jacksonville. King Street, South Carolina, Atlanta, Columbia, Philadelphia, North Jersey, Jersey City, Newark. We have the Midwest Educational Network, Israel, and Lexington, Kentucky. Contacts in Louisville, contacts in Detroit, Columbus. And we're not thinking, we're connecting with unconscious Moors. We're not thinking some separate Moorish community. They're Moors. I'm just saying that's where I just wanted to explain why I disagree. And not only am I saying, but I just can't say I disagree, and then the comeback would be, well, what are you doing, Abdullah? I mean, that's why because I already know not to say, just say I know better than that. I know better than that. I know better than to say I disagree, period. That means nothing. That means nothing. If I disagree, then I have to show through action what I'm doing. I have to show through action. Well, you disagree, Abdullah, then you have to show me through action, Abdullah. What are you doing? Well, that's why I had to do that. That's why. Because I just can't say I disagree and leave it at that. I type your questions in as I continue. Let's dialogue, y'all. Y'all don't have to agree, dialogue. Yeah, the Moorish government would have to gain territorial sovereignty in order to protect the Moors. We have to connect, though. We have to connect with the people. We have to have outreach. We have to have strategic planning. This is why I gave the rundown. We have to connect with the community. We have to have a strategic plan. So I laid the strategic plan that we're actually working. I reached out to brother Israel 26 months ago. Brother Israel been dancing. He and I have been dancing for 26 months. He and I are working on 7 books. I reached out to Santiago in December. He was one of the comments on New York Perspective Talk Show. And since then, Sentinel been rocking with us. King Albay, 3.5 years been working with him. Luisa Flores, for 26 months. Now I mentioned Asifa. I mentioned Atuza. I also know Brother Tahaka in Jacksonville. That Tahaka. Also, I know both Tahakas, the one in Baltimore, and I also know the one in Jacksonville. In fact, I'm gonna reach out to him probably tonight or tomorrow to get King. I'm with King when to get us on. You and I, you, Shim, and myself were on Tahaka's show when I got back from Detroit in 2024, and we can get on the show, King, on a regular. All right. So as we marking our lecture on August 16th. So that's another outreach too. That's another outreach, brother Tahaka in Jacksonville, Florida. Brother Nicholas, I also know Brother Tahaka in Jacksonville, Florida too. So Brother Nicholas had to kick me in my butt. I mean, reminding me of my connections and outreach. But Abdullah, you got connection outreach, man. You've been doing this for a long time, man. Come on, man. And once I said, yeah, you know what, you're right. Yep. Read to speed apart mentally and collectively. We need sanctioned ground. All right, that's true. I got you. I want to be among my people, man. I want to be among unconscious Moors too, man. I want to be among where we need it, among unconscious Moors. As I said, we are connecting with unconscious Moors who have connections in the community. Brother Mikhail Yusuf Bey, boots in Charleston, South Carolina, is boots on the ground. This brother Mikhail Yusuf Bey, is boots on the ground. This brother, he vends at flea markets. There's people from 7 to 8 different cities that attend that flea market. He's known, he is boots on the ground. He's committed to working with us to help us market the lecture. I connected him with Nicholas today. This brother is boots. Brother Mikhail would not be in agreement with some separate Moorish community. This brother is boots on the ground. Build the community, raise the people up. They are Moors. They are Moors. They are Moors. Raise them up in Brooklyn. Raise them up in the Bronx and Harlem. Raise them up in Lexington. Raise them up in Louisville and Chicago. Raise them up in Savannah, in Jacksonville, in Tampa. Raise them up in Los Angeles. Raise them up where you are. Drop your bucket where you are. Drop your bucket where you are. Raise them up where you are. Do the outreach. Do the Butter cow, the boots on the ground. Come out of her. Don't limit to social media. Just be like Macau. Yusef Bey. Get out there. Not just be social media. Get out to the community. All right, so I'll continue here. So those who are don't forget to hit that like button. Let people know that we're on my website. Once again, mooresandmasonry.org. mooresandmasonry.org. I wanted to engage with y'all. So that's why I read the comments. I read the questions. I take comments based on some of the comments and questions. So I want to engage with y'all. Now I read this last week. What historical documentary evidence can be used to prove that the word black is the nationality of a people who existed as a national government under a national constitution or covenant having the character of civil and political polity in the annals of history? A. Names of heads of states, emperors, empress, sultan, queen, king, caliph, emir, bey, dey, president, prime minister. B. Treaties. C. Constitution. D. War records. E. Amity records. F. Diplomatic correspondences. G. Consular records. H. Proclamations by heads of government and heads of states. I. Consuls commission papers. J. Listing of ambassadors. K. Embassy records. L. Consulate records. M. National covenants. N. All of the above. What is the historical documentary evidence proving the existence of an empire, kingdom, nation, state, ecclesiastical society, people? A. Names of heads of states, empires, names of heads of states, emperors, empress, sultan, queen, king, caliph, emir, bey, dey, president, prime minister. B. Treaties. C. Constitutions. D. War records. E. Amity records. F. Diplomatic correspondences. G. Consular records. H. Proclamations by heads of government. I. Consular commission papers. J. Listing of ambassadors. K. Embassy records. L. Consular records. M. National covenants. N. All of the above. Moorish bilateral treaties with France, the Netherlands, England, Great Britain, Denmark, Spain, the United States, Sardinia, Austria, Belgium, Germany from 1631 to 1892. All right, so let me go back to see any more comments. Question. All right, Joe Master, 7135. We can do that also. Industry, manufacturing, hospitals, centers, schools, all different things in a small community. Did people can be like-minded and recharge and go out in the world and do they, you and I disagree, brother, that's all. We're just going to settle on that, man. We disagree. Allah, Rahim Allah Bey, we're working on getting us setting up a lecture for King Al Bey, due process, teaching legal tools, due process, and using due process for protecting our rights and for court cases. Then with legal tools, so we're looking at setting up a lecture in May for King Abe and Queens. So waiting for Brother Rahim, our friend, who's once again boots on the ground. He's boots on the ground. So we're going to be setting up lectures in all 5 boroughs with King, myself, Rahim Allah Bey is the president and founder of the Moors Meeting of the Minds Civic Association. The people are there. That's the community. We're going to raise them up in the Bronx, Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens. We're going to raise them up. We're going to connect with, we built relationships with Luisa Flores's connections as well. We're going to connect with unconscious Moors, Rahim and Allah Bey and Brother Love, along with Luisa Flores. They have been attending different events, connecting, outreaching, networking with community organizers, community activists. We're going to be bringing them in, connecting with them as well. I said with Nicholas. That's the community. I'm only speaking this way because of the connections we have. If conscious boys don't have these connections, they can't speak like me. I get you, Joel. You can't speak like me because you don't have these connections. That's all. I mean, you can't speak like me because you don't have these connections. You're speaking like that because you don't. Bob, why am I speaking like this? Brother Michael, Brother Rahim's connection. Spoke to him. He's connected in the community. In the Queens. Rahim's from the Queens. Love Bay's from Brooklyn. They got connections. If you don't have any connections and you ain't been involved in the community over the years, if you ain't like Michael Youssef Bey, he's boots on the ground. Like why we can't Florence, Beaufort, Columbia, Charleston. I'm just saying, the people are there. Because why am I speaking like this? I'm not an idiot. Neither are you. You're not an idiot too. You're not an idiot, Joe. But I'm saying that because of the connections. If I didn't have these connections and outreach, there's no way I could speak like this. That's why. Why am I speaking like this? That's why. That's that. Why am I speaking like this? Like what? Why am I taking this position? Because of the connections we already have. That's why. Nicholas had to kick me in my butt. Abdullah. Come on, man. You got all these connections. Come on. You can, Abdullah, you can market this thing, Abdullah. You got it. Right. Because of the connections I have. That's why. This is something that I'm good at. Even going back to college, organizing, networking. I'm good at this. Like, I'm confident. I'm good at this. I'm good at connecting and strategic planning. I'm good at this. This is why. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Raheem. Oh, man. How to safeguard our communities with legal tools. So King Al Bay is going to be doing a series of lectures throughout the country. We have a team. King ain't by himself. How to safeguard our communities with legal tools. Who's on? So we have a organizing team working with King. On Smoke Nature Ill. I'm in Morocco, Exrail, Indianapolis. We used to connect and have Moorish meetings, but we stopped because everybody had their own interpretation on how things were supposed to be set up. We fell out. But we have the Moorish, we have the Midwest Regional Educational Network, and so you're in Indianapolis. Smoke, take my number, 215-300-5471. Reach out to me. I'm going to connect you with Brother Israel, who's in Lexington, Kentucky. It's 215-300-5471. People pointing fingers at each other on your paperwork ain't right. His is, the prophet said, this no mean, this said this. No, he meant that. I got you. Yeah, brother. All right. Where would you recommend me to start learning more science? All right. We have the Moroccan Post, Media YouTube page. Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. We have the Magnus Crystals Pyramid, and with Frank Hanks has other guests, and I've been on this platform doing the Moorish Monday on Magnus Crystal Pyramid for over 2 years now, and so we have a host of lessons on here. So that's Moroccan Post Media YouTube, as well as Magnus Crystal's Pyramids. And also New York Perspective talk show. New York Perspective talk show. And Ezra and I have been on there since April of last year. We have a host of lessons on there as well. You take my number, 215-300-5471. Oh, you text me. Good. All right, I got you, Smoke. You text me. Right on. And you're in Indianapolis. Right on. So I'm gonna connect you with Israel. We got you. We got you. Got my number. Good. Right on. All right. So I just wanted to engage with the audience. I want to engage with the audience because this is what it's about too. God DG at God D the dot G. It's hard to uplift humanity. All right, I have to respond to this. It's hard to uplift humanity when the temple is only open on Friday. Well, you can. All right, you're talking about from that, but what can you do other than Friday? Like, what can you do? All right, so the temple is open on Friday. All right, God DG. My number is 215 300 5471. Text me. 215 300 5471. We're gonna put you to work. We got something for you. Where are you located? God dot G. All right, my man Hazelot Bay. All right. So we have Curtis. Is you in Michigan? All right. So you're in the Midwest. So that's once again, take my number 215 300 5471. I'm gonna connect you with Brother Israel, because he and I are, we actually facilitating the Midwest Educational Network, which we actually established a year ago. Question: how can we learn from the Kingdom of Hawaii and how they are recovering their sovereignty for the audience? So it's time, Brother Obadiah. I want to right now where I'm on is getting the people that's on now to be involved in the community. So I want to connect them with, if they're in North Jersey, New York area, I want to connect them with Raheem Alabe and Brother Love Bay and Luisa Flores. If they're in the Midwest, I want to connect them with Brother Israel. If they're in the Southeast region, I want to connect them with Brother Nicholas of More Uplifting Humanity Southeast Regional Network. See what I'm doing? So that's, see the network that we're building. And remember, we have we built a national network where we have the Intergovernmental Alliance with Asifa and his body. We have the Southeast, the More Uplifting Humanity Southeast Regional Network. We have more Meeting of the Minds out here on the East Coast with Raheem Allah Bey, who's the founder and president. Meeting of the Minds Civic Association. Moroccan Post School of Government International Law. Moors Union of Sovereign Tribes. So I can network. I can put you and connect you with different people. If you're here on the East Coast, if you're in the Southeast, if you're in the Midwest, all right, we have some connections on the West Coast. So I can help you, connect you with different people so we're organizing different entities, organizations under one national network. So this is why I speak the way I speak. Like, this is already in the works. All right, so I don't right now. I just want to put that. I'm in Philadelphia. I'm in Philadelphia, my man. 215 300 5471. 215 300 5471. So you'll be with me. You'll work with me. Just 215 300 5471. Lies. I don't know what that means. Fakes. I don't know what that means. In the context, it's just Anyone trying to sell the truth worshipers Satan. True people of God never sell the gospel or try to sell. I don't know this. Yeah, no. All right, I'm not going to deal with that. I don't deal with that. I want to stay focused. I want to stay focused on what I'm doing now, so we can network. I'm going to stay focused on working. I'm not going to get caught up in that. I got great people that I'm working with. These great people that I work with, that I'm connected to, are workers. They are doers. They're not just talking. These are doers in the community. So you will give them proper concepts, teach them strategic planning. And that's what we're doing. King Albay will be traveling the country. We are serious. We are doers. We're writing books. We have classes, networking, outreaching, lesson plans. We are doers. So these comments don't mean nothing to me. Don't mean nothing to me. These last bit of comments to whatever TM, that means nothing to me. What are we doing? All right, so once again, anyone who's interested in my books, go to mooresandmasonry.org. Go to mooresandmasonry.org. Hit that notification bell if you haven't done so. Hit the like button. Share this video. Also, Hank has shows throughout the week, so check those out. All right, so I'm going to sign off. I appreciate everyone. So until next week, peace, everyone.